Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to another recording of Hearthstone. Today is Wednesday, November 7th. We have 7 packs we're going to open. We have this problem though. We're on our Asian account and nobody really is going to accept a challenger friend from the Asian account. So I may very well miss out on 500 gold because I just can't get anybody online that's willing to accept a friend request. The Asian players of Hearthstone are pretty private. They won't accept random friend requests for the most part, and it's just kind of weird. Meanwhile, I need to probably get at least these other actions done. So I need to play even cards, and I need to use the hero power. There's Tavern Brawl has been done on the Asian account, but I forgot to do it on the European account, so we need to go back and do that also. And we have these cards to open. One of these card packs was for a regular daily quest, one of these classic card packs, and then these 6 card packs were part of the rewards for there being over 100 accounts or 100 million accounts on Hearthstone. Although, to be fair, how many of those accounts are really active accounts is highly questionable, because I personally have just a long list on every account of people who barely play Hearthstone or don't play Hearthstone at all anymore. And meanwhile, Activision Blizzard is not succeeding in anything else. In fact, they made such a controversy. Does anybody remember that there is a brand new character coming to Heroes of the Storm? That this is their first original character? Do people remember that there's a new Overwatch character, or a whole series of new Overwatch characters that are planned to come out? No, not that much. It's all about just Diablo Immortal, and maybe a Diablo 4 announcement that was going to be announced and it was cancelled, and now we're hearing Activision Blizzard say, actually no, we were never going to make an announcement. So either Kotaku was wrong, or Activision Blizzard is lying. Hey, I got an epic. That's nice. Now these are Boomsday packs, so for my Asian account, there probably are a few missing cards in the Boomsday collection. So this might fill in a few gaps, but I bet it doesn't. That should be 40 cards that we just opened. So if all of them were old cards, duplicates, this would equal 40, this equals 25, so there is 15 that are new. So let's see what they are. We have this, which if I can disenchant a gold at this point, I'm going to do it on all the accounts. We have a second one of this, second one of this, or a first one of this actually. So I could use dust, but at the moment I'm gonna hold on to dust. Like, I'm not sure where I want to go with dusts. Mostly I just want to use Hearth Arena, I believe is the website, or whatever website I was using to tell me what is the new meta deck to make. And now we have 2 of those. Let's see if we can disenchant this one. And this. Nice. Can we disenchant this? No. And that. Alright. Not too bad. We could see what we're missing as far as just Boomsday cards. In the other 2 accounts, it's been 11 pages. And mostly it's been epics and legendaries. There's just a lot of epics and legendaries in that expansion that probably did not deserve to be epics and legendaries, and there's this value creep and manipulation of the card valuations. If there was more of an open market way of creating value of these cards, a lot of these cards would devalue immediately. They'd be worth no dust, and you could craft them very easily. But yeah, there's a lot of commons where there wasn't before. So there is an argument to use gold in the next expansion and buy Boomsday packs. Not a great argument though, but a slight argument. Like, what it comes down to is, what am I really missing in the classic card pack? Like, I'm missing still quite a lot of these cards, and these classic cards are going to stay around forever. So until you have a nearly 100% complete collection of cards in the classic set, any expansion has less of a value. Let's move back. And yeah, nobody is playing right now. Nobody can be challenged. The problem also here is that the amount of time somebody is on Hearthstone and they can just be challenged is way too short. Why can I not send a challenge to somebody right now, and then when they finish their game, they get a reminder that they've been challenged and that they can challenge me if I am free? Like, why do I have to sit in the main menu and wait for them to stop playing their game before I can even send a challenge to see if they'll accept it or not? That's kind of ridiculous. Moving on though, let's get back to playing Spell Hunter and try to get up to rank 20. And I didn't change the card backs. That's the other thing I wanted to do. Gamasutra has an article, report, Japan's mobile game creators are losing out to China and South Korea. And then they have a picture of Puzzles and Dragons. Makes some sense too. Yeah, the China's mobile game market and South Korea's mobile game market, I think, just entered those markets a little bit quicker, and they have a little bit more expertise there. And I would say where there is probably in my head a little bit of more confidence in a South Korean mobile game to be a good game and not something that is just a lazy, terribly programmed port of some anime license that's really just in existence to promote that anime show. Puzzles and Dragons being a great example of that. There's no, to my knowledge, Puzzles and Dragons anime. There's no Puzzles and Dragons TV show. So the creators of Puzzles and Dragons do really just have to focus on making a good game. Now, there are definitely some problems with if the entire Asian mobile market becomes completely dominated by China, because then all the games will get censored and under strict government control. And South Korea is not much better. In fact, most Asian countries are very strict and conservative, so South Korea games also could be a little strict and under control too. Not anywhere as badly as China, but kind of badly. There have definitely been instances of South Korean games that got popular enough and started moving their way westward, and they had anime girls in anime fashion where the skirts were a little short, or there's a little bit of cleavage on the anime women or girls, and then those art assets get modified and edited as they go west, which is kind of loses some of the appeal of a lot of the mobile games too. I'm definitely not one to be very deep into mobile games anyways. My most recent evaluation of looking at just the Google Play Store in the United States, it's pretty awful. Like, there really aren't that many good games to play. I'm playing Klepto Cats and Klepto Cats 2. I'm playing Adventure Town, which I've been playing for years, and I've like maxed it out. And Clash of Clans, or no, Clash Royale, and I have like nearly all the cards, and I'm working towards maxing out all the cards in Clash Royale too. So finding anything new that's interesting and worth playing is really hard. And shopping in general, just finding new games on Google Play is a nightmare. There's really not a good recommendation engine going on there. Let's see.
I hunt alone.
Moving on, we have a game on Steam called Daru, the Art Cooperation. This looks like a single screen puzzle game. It might not be that good, but it looks like it might work. Is it multiplayer or single player? It seems to have some single player. I'm willing to follow this and see where it goes. But I am also being extremely generous and adding a ton of things to the follow list. I've come to the realization I'm going to have to make the decision to, like, on a quarterly basis, go through the follow list and filter it out. So I guess maybe at the end of January there'll be a special episode that airs, or a special live stream. I don't know when I'd actually schedule it, but yeah. There needs to be a time every 2 or 3 months where I just look at games and I say, hey, here's some games that have come out in the past couple months. Let's start to make some decisions about whether these games are worth playing or not. Well, that didn't work.
By the holy light.
Next we have a game on Steam called It's a Trap.
By the holy
It looks like it might be a asset flip game, but it might not. Kind of feels like a Skyrim type clone. Does this require VR? Yes, it does. See, and that's the problem with where this falls apart as the idea of a game is, in no way would I ever want to play a VR game where one wrong step means you're going to take damage or die. Let's see. I guess I'll put It's a Trap on the follow list because it's a VR game, but yeah, it's probably gonna. I'd probably never want to play it, even if I did have a VR headset. Deal 4. TechRaptor has an article updated. Fallout 76 claim game lacks basic hacking protection. Bethesda responds. It seems like a lockpicking cheat mod has already been ported to Fallout 76. Other mods have already been ported. From what I hear, The Fallout 76 server trusts a ton of information that is reported back by the client, so if you just modify the client, you can cheat your way through certain interactions. It seems like a lot of the gameplay mechanics are tied directly to the frame rate, so if you can hack it so the frame rate goes higher, you can move faster. Let's see.
Reporting for duty.
Like the update here is a user came out and addressed the accusation that it doesn't encrypt its data. It may encrypt some data, it may not encrypt others. Bits of data, that would be my guess. Encrypting your data doesn't inherently fix all your problems, though. Particularly if you can access the data before it's encrypted and sent, which via the client might be very possible to do. In general, Fallout 76 sounds like it's a mess and not a very interesting game to play in the first place. It is still yet to look like a fun gameplay experience. So we got the even cost cards. Now I just need to use my hero ability like crazy. And nobody's online. Again, I'm just gonna try to add everybody I play as a friend, and if they respond and accept the request, yay. If they don't, whatever. Gamasutra had the same article that we've already talked about today in the stream. Payday 2 is responsible for 62% of Starbreeze Studios' Q3 sales. So all the other games they're publishing in Payday 1 make up the remaining 38% of sales. That's not a very diversified portfolio when you think about it. We have a game on Steam called Time Virus that looks like garbage. Just squiggles on the screen. Yeah, I'm so glad that I can now show off these games instead of just say they look like garbage. It's $1.99 discounted. Because, yeah, I was definitely a lot of times feeling like it's more informative to show a picture than it is to just try and describe a picture. GameIndustry.biz has an article. Square Enix reports $33 million extraordinary loss as new AAA studio shifts focus. Half-year financial results also show declines across the board despite Tomb Raider and Octopath Traveler launches. I'm not super surprised that Octopath Traveler didn't raise their sales, but it is slightly surprising that Tomb Raider did not make its money, and that runs directly in line with why Rise of the Tomb Raider was on sale so heavily discounted a month after it came out. Square Enix was trying to clearly get $33 million of extra sales or more in before the end of the Q3. And Rise of the Tomb Raider didn't make as much money as they needed it to. Now, how much of this money, well, that is getting funneled back to the development of new AAA titles that people want to play, or is this getting funneled to the development of new AAA titles that are somewhat like Final Fantasy Like, because if you're really just making another Final Fantasy game like Final Fantasy 15, it's probably not going to sell when it comes out in the next 10 years. If you're losing money left and right trying to remake Final Fantasy 7, that's also a problem. Like, this article goes on to speculate, GameIndustry.biz does, about where Square Enix is spending its money and where its focus is, and I would argue it's probably not in the right place for its own company. Like, it's not in the right place for the Japanese market, which I'm sure it's mostly focused on. It's not in the right place for a world view market or a world market in video games. It's not in the right place for its own company to just make money. If anything, it is very reasonable for, at this point, for them to consider stepping back from Final Fantasy as a series and not make Final Fantasy cell phone port games, and instead make new actual unique ideas and let some of the younger employees step up and pitch something new. But we'll see what happens there. There is speculation in this article, though, that they're just going to make a Final Fantasy 15 full-length prequel movie, or that was in the works and it has now since been canceled. I'm not even. Seems like that might have been canceled as a plan, but it was a plan at one time. Yeah, it's a really bad position as we enter 2019 for video game companies. A significant number of very recognizable AAA developers sounds like they are going to struggle or completely fall apart and go bankrupt by the end of over the course of next year. That's not the situation you want an industry to be in.
Who dares summon me? A paltry
Well, moving on, we have a game on Steam called Roar: The Adventures of Rampaging Rex. The idea of a dinosaur running around creating havoc looks interesting as a concept. The visuals here, though, make it seem like it really is just an asset flip game, and it doesn't actually look that good. I'll watch this video and see if perhaps there's something here that would sell me on this, but I kind of don't believe there will be.
Flesh fails. Try this.
Yeah, this really doesn't feel like it's polished enough to have been a product that was available for sale. It's discounted right now, but still costs $5.39. That's too expensive.
Extraordinary.
Let's see. I'm about to lose here, but all I'm trying to do is use the hero ability. Next we have a game on Steam called Sharknado VR Eye of the Storm. Now, if this didn't look so terrible and I wasn't at least 50% certain that it does not own the license to the Sharknado movie series, I would be more willing to kind of give this one the time of day. Why this is getting released right now instead of like Shark Week seems kind of ridiculous. It's also a VR game, so it's not going to make it to my wish list. It's $19.99 undiscounted. So when I was, as part of doing the Steam wishlist end of the year cleanup videos that I'm recording right now that will air in December, one of the things I did notice is a game that very much was from a publisher that was just stealing ideas from movies and TV shows. See if this guy will accept. Please, please, please. Please accept. Yeah. See if this developer's made anything else. No. Yeah, I do think this is just a developer who has stolen the idea from the movie series. Just kind of blatant copyright infringement. Man, what is it with these Asian people that they just won't accept or deny the request? They're too timid to deny they can't request or hit cancel, but they don't want to accept, so they just leave it there. Or they just leave their game running and they walk away from their computers. We'll give this a little bit of time, but this is more time than they needed. We have let's see, we have a game on Steam called Expedition Oregon, which looks awful. MS Paint level graphics. Free to play, I guess the price is right, but certainly that's not making it to the wish list. Let's see. Next we have a game on Steam called Stickman Maverick, Bad Boys Killer. In 2018, a Stickman game probably doesn't deserve to be played. Yeah, this looks like a cell phone port of a game. It looks in no way interesting. At all. It's $2 discounted. Or about $2. Yep, and yeah, see how they just kind of sit? And we'll see if this person will accept a friend request. Meanwhile, the only other thing we can do is play a couple more hero abilities. So we could, let's go back to yes, standard. Please play me. Please play me. Oh, finally somebody will play me. Let's see. And then we'll just do Odd Paladin and go. And we just want to play fast games and hope that he'll stick with us. 4 or 5 games.
Uther versus Tyrande.
Now,
Give me strength.
this
I
next
will fight with honor.
game on Steam, I don't know if this is a really well polished asset flip because it really only requires 1 room and 1 character model with the hand of a second character model, or if this is actually an interesting like idea of a game. I guess inherently, if anyone was ever curious to play Russian roulette, this is the game for you, where you can safely experience that without actually endangering yourself. Like, I want to probably see what the game over sequence is.
I must move
Like,
quickly.
This is 99 cents. It's probably a troll game, but I'm not 100% sure it is. See, let's see if this developer's made anything else. The developer hasn't made anything else. It has some polish on it. The description says the most extreme and dangerous game gambling. So it doesn't seem like the description is very trolly either.
For justice.
For duty.
So from that perspective, I guess this is going to go on the fall list. It's kind of ridiculous that a game called Russian Roulette, that is actually people playing Russian Roulette, would make it to the fall list. But, you know, that actually might be kind of a cool thing to do a 30-minute spotlight on. It's probably not something you play very long, certainly. You probably get bored pretty quickly. Let's see. We'll play this.
Access denied. The battle! The battle! For justice!
And attack.
Job done.
There. Let's see. Next there's a game called Source the Beginning. It's not English language, so of course it's not going to make it to the wish list. It looks like a cheap Chinese RPG maker type game. So we can move on. Let's see. This
Reporting for duty.
and this and this.
Reporting for duty. The battle!
That.
The battle!
That.
Job's done.
Move on. Let's see. Gematsu has an article, Project Judge introduces friend events system. I don't know what Project Judge is. I don't recall ever seeing this before, but it seems interesting. Like, the screenshot is of what looks like kind of a Yakuza gangster Japanese guy, and behind him is basically a McDonald's employee girl in red and yellow outfit, and they're taking selfies together.
The light protects me.
Reporting for duty.
So I assume you're friends with that person, or you became friends with that person. Let's go ahead and
The battle!
not help this guy win. That's kind of all I know, though. Project Judge is due out for the PlayStation 4 December 13th in Japan, Asia, and Korea, and the West in 2019. So we'll hear more about this game, Project Judge. It does kind of look like a Yakuza style game, or maybe a Shenmue style game. I could be totally wrong about that.
Reality brings.
Let's see, do I want to play more characters?
Reporting for duty.
Or am I good?
The battle!
I don't play that too. Next we have a game on Steam called Kill the Dictator. It doesn't look like it's a very well visually polished game. It doesn't seem like it's actively being a troll game either, though. It just seems like it's just kind of bad and mediocre. So yeah, that's not gonna make it to the wish list. So I need this guy to play me 4 more times. That's what I need this guy to do.
Versus Valera.
Watch your back.
I will fight with honor.
And generally I want to just play as quickly as possible. Gematsu has an article, Dragon Quest XI, Echoes of the Elusive Age, shipments and digital sales have topped 4 million. So yeah, Dragon Quest XI is working really well. The
Converting stored energy.
So yeah, the Dragon Quest series is succeeding, so hopefully we'll see more of them come to PC and it turn into a very successful series outside of the East. I could totally see myself saying, hey, let's just play Dragon Quest XI and going forward from that point, let's not play any Final Fantasy games, let's not play any of the other JRPGs. There's still a ton of JRPGs on the wish list that I really haven't made a decision on. So yeah, the wish list definitely has a lot of room for improvement still, even though I've spent what's going to be like 30 hours cleaning it up quite a bit. There's still a lot of things that I'm crippled with indecision on. JRPGs in particular, Western RPGs, hidden object games, point and click games. There's too many point and click games. Visual novel games in general, visual novel games that are dating sims, visual novel games that are dating sims that have nudity and sexual content, other types of games that have nudity and sexual content that I would have to think of some new way of covering that is acceptable to YouTube through probably massive amounts of censorship. Moving on, Gematsu has an article that sounds really cool. The Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy launches for the PS4, Xbox One, and Switch on February 21st, 2019 in Japan, and it is coming to the PC in the spring of 2019. So this would, I believe, be the first instance in which you could play any Phoenix Wright game on Steam. It may be the first instance in which you can play any Phoenix Wright game at all in on anything besides, I think some of them had previously come out on the DS. So yeah, I'd love to play the entirety of the Phoenix Wright trilogy. I don't know if they're gonna make any more Phoenix Wright games though. The other kind of games like that I'd love to see come to PC is the Professor Layton series. So that would be nice too. Let's see. What do I want to do?
To battle.
Do that, and then attack here, and then move forward. Tech Raptor has an article. Path of Exile is coming to the PlayStation 4 in December. So people who don't want to play Diablo anymore because of Diablo Immortal and have a PlayStation 4, Path of Exile probably is the way to go. Although you could be playing Path of Exile right now on the PC.
I don't need any of you. Justice. Reporting for duty.
Gematsu has an article. The NES Nintendo Switch Online adds Twin Bee, Mighty Bomb Jack, and Metroid on November 14th. So the original Metroid game would be the one that I think most people would recognize. And I also wouldn't be surprised if they came out with like a mod for Metroid like they did the Adventures of Zelda, Zelda 1, to just make the game a little bit easier to play. Yeah, I could totally see that happening too.
The battle for duty. The battle for justice.
So that's 2. And as we're doing this, the other person, if they have the same quest, should be also succeeding and getting gold. Like, he should be. That's my understanding of it. It's not just me being really greedy here. Although, I kind of have to be really greedy even if I am. I'm just... time management alone demands it.
I will fight with honor.
Let's see. Next we have a game on Steam called Squally, which looks like a platformer. but there's a little bit too much polish here to just dismiss it as a cheap, low effort. See, that looks like Gwent, like, but this looks like a platformer, and this looks like something different, and that looks like something different. Like, is this an early access troll game, or is this $24.99? I guess I put something like this on the follow list. I guess that's what you do. But the Squally certainly does seem all over the board.
Protects me.
In a very weird way.
Repent.
Next we have a game on Steam called Fluffy Horde. Sorry, I went quiet there. It seems like it's a little too pixely for me. It seems like it might just be a Lemming style game. Side-scrolling hybrid between real-time strategy and base defense. Yeah, it's not catching my attention. I'll watch this video and see if something this is here. It seems like what happens is you're attacked by sheep and then you have to defeat the sheep.
Converting stored energy.
I didn't play that right. I should have played this.
Reporting for duty.
Yeah. This Fluffy Horde seems like it's more of a joke game than a real game. A game attempting to be a real game. So I just don't think it's going to be quality. They want $8.50 discounted right now. That seems really expensive. I don't get why a lot of these developers, they go the cheap route and make these pixel graphics ugly games, and then they want AA or AAA prices on them. GamingIndustry.biz has an article. Red Dead Redemption 2 ships shipments reached 17 million. So that's more in 8 days than the original did in 8 years. So that's a major amount, certainly. It's questionable though. Like, is that too much? Like, or does that just mean that the hype for Red Dead Redemption 2 was way bigger than the original Red Dead Redemption game? Oh, here's a game that's reminded me of something. Yandere Simulator developer, Yandere Dev as he calls himself, made a new video basically going backwards in circles like he will almost certainly always do. And so now he claims that everything he's been developing up until this point is actually a vertical slice of the game, and it is moving towards him asking for more money to hire a new programmer again, to replace him so he can just be the lead writer. It's important to mention though, he's already been in an agreement and fallen out of an agreement with a real publisher who is going to give him, who gave him programmers, who gave him everything he claims he wants now as far as assistance to get the game finished and shipped. Yandere Simulator now is just too old and irrelevant. It's just the next Duke Nukem Forever. His problem is him. He can't finish projects. He constantly wants to add more things to it. If there was a better project lead under him and he would listen to people, which I don't think he will, he would have put out something called Yandere Simulator a long time ago, it would have been alright, but not great, and he would be working on Yandere Simulator 2, possibly even Yandere Simulator 3 by this point. And iterations could have been done that way. A lot of developers have this problem where they constantly just want to polish and add more elements, and it's just feature creep all over. Most developers don't have Yandere Dev's problem of actually being a pretty awful programmer who's not capable of making the product at the level that he wants it to be at. His programming just does not meet his ambition at all. Right, and he says he's out. Oh, darn it. Well, that's not too bad. We're not in a terrible position. Let's see. See if he wants to, if he's saying challenge me. Yeah, I think that's what he was saying. Good. I've got somebody else that's willing to challenge me. Let's see. I have no idea what he's saying.
Luther versus Thrall.
Let's see.
For Doomhammer.
But we'll assume it's translating well. And you're not seeing what he's typing anyways, because that's blocked on the stream. Just in case somebody types in something particularly nasty in the chat. So that whole rant about Yandere Simulator and how it's never going to be finished, and I'm surprised nobody has stolen that idea and just beaten him to market, because you easily could have been. Yeah, you could have very easily beaten him to market with something. And I believe there is actually a game that has already come out that did beat him to market. That's somewhat similar.
Reporting for duty. Job done.
But all of that, because I was reminded by this game, Don't Notice Me. It says it's you navigate through high school politics, discover authority, deceive authority figures, pick locks, break into rooms, and solve murder mysteries. Typical teenage activities. Like, looking at these screenshots, this totally looks like it's a Yandere Simulator style game, but also it kind of looks like an asset flip game too. I'm gonna watch the video here and see how this goes on the track. The thing with Don't Notice Me that runs into this problem is if you're not going with that super dark, there is an obsessive psychopath who is in love with this person and is willing to stage and murder other students who are her romantic rivals. That dark, twisted tale was the main intrigue for Yandere Simulator. If you're just doing a slice of life story in a school, and particularly I guess a Japanese school, although this one may not be really that, really a Japanese school, it becomes a lot less appealing.
For justice.
See, I'm just watching this video, and it seems like this is much more of a walking around, finding things, adventure style game. So yeah, I don't know if I want this game on my wish list just because I'd use it as an excuse to rip into a Yandere Simulator, or whether this game really stands on its own merit. I guess if in question, we can just put it on the fall list and come back to it later. This developer hasn't made anything else on Steam, so yeah, I'll just put it on the fall list and we'll come back to it. Moving on, Gamasutra has an article, Nintendo to remove offensive Native American designs from Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. This is a Native American character from a Game & Watch game that actually existed, and so this is texture existed in the Game & Watch game a long time ago. I'm slightly confused at the world at this point in my life. Like, I don't know what's super offensive about this. When you know the art style, when you know that every other character in the Game & Watch series looked like this, and when you see that this is just a similar character with a feather in his hair and in his head, which some Native Americans do wear feathers. So, like, what? I don't understand. I don't understand the world anymore. I'm getting old, clearly. Why this is offensive. I severely question whether any real Native American was offended by this at all, or if it was just a bunch of SJWs. And Nintendo being a mostly Japanese company, I don't think they understand it anymore. Yeah, it seems like they are specifically upset about the feather in the hair. Well, Nintendo put out an apology, and they said they're removing it. And this is the world we've created at this point.
The light protects me.
For justice, the battle. Reporting for duty.
If I was gonna be honest here, I would like to say Native Americans in the United States right now should mostly be offended by the fact that they are not represented enough or at all. Like, the last time, let's see, there's a TV show called Longmire that deals with Native Americans a lot, because it's a sheriff who's living right near a reservation. But I'm trying to think through all the TV shows and all the movies that have come out over the last year, and like, I really don't I really don't know of anyone that has had any Native American character at all. And I know their population isn't huge anymore. But yeah, I think that's a much bigger issue. Let's depict them in a good light if the Game & Watch character with a feather in his hair or in his hat is in a negative character, instead of just removing him. This was a similar argument I heard by Liana K, who has a YouTube channel, where she's talking about how Apu being removed from The Simpsons does not actually goes a step backwards, because now there's just no representation at all of a Indian, Eastern Indian character on The Simpsons. She also made the argument that, well, Apu may be a characterization, so is every other character on The Simpsons, and he is probably the one that gets characterized in the best light. Moving on, though, I'm fighting 2 rants at the same time, or trying to avoid 2 rants at the same time. Let's see. You could do that, and that, and that. GameIndustry.biz has an article. Candy Crush Friends Saga has surpassed $10 million. King's most recent Candy Crush entry launch driven by US Android users, so apparently people are still suckers for Candy Crush. I wouldn't play that game with a 10-foot pole after I realized it was literally cheating and scheming to make you pay money. Let's see. Gamma Sutra has an article. Capcom will focus on PC for the future of Monster Hunter World. I kinda don't believe this statement. Like, I don't know if Capcom really has the clout to make a statement like that and be believed. Go ahead and kill one of these.
For justice.
It would be very nice if this is true, but I can't. The only reason I could think maybe this is actually true and this isn't just Capcom straight up lying, which I think it probably is, just to keep people happy on the PC version, which has not gotten a lot of support on. In fact, Monster Hunter World is pretty poorly reviewed on Steam right now. My only thought is perhaps, just perhaps, Sony PlayStation has irritated so many of the Japanese companies with their new stricter censorship rules, which probably wouldn't have even affected Monster Hunter, but it would affect Capcom eventually. That maybe this is just the ultimate betrayal. The Monster Hunter series, which is one of the biggest games to be released in Japan always, is now no longer focusing on the PlayStation release and has moved over to PC. With Monster Hunter, you could probably assume, if this is true, that all Capcom games are going to get a lot more focus on PC, and all new Capcom games are going to be released on PC as their primary platform, and then they might release it on Xbox or PlayStation or Switch too. It's an intriguing thought, but I'm only cautiously optimistic with that news. Let's see. Let's see. Next we have a game on Steam called Run Dant Run, which looks like it's a pretty generic game. Unless this is a musical score that you're playing also, and I don't think it is. I think it's just an infinite runner game. Yeah, you just go up and down, forward and back. And this is just a very generic infinite runner game. 59 cents discounted. So they're asking quite a bit. I would say that at least their UI looks nice. A lot of these low effort games, and I don't even know if this one should be called a very low effort game. A lot of the low effort games don't even have polished UIs or any UI. Let's see, swap the attack and health. Let's see.
I dream and the world trembles.
Let's see. This and this and that. Yeah, Run Dant Run is not making it to the fall list. Gamma Sutra has an article. Google's in-app update API gives Android devs new tools for pushing updates. So, in theory, games on Android and other apps can maybe update a little bit better and faster. It doesn't seem like, though, you could probably use this without also having your game on Google Play and the person with the game also having Google Play installed on their phone. So if you're running some weird rooted Google Play some, like, I guess the Amazon.com ones that only have the Amazon store would be a good example of something like that, where it's just there's no Google Play store installed by default. This in-app update probably wouldn't help you as much. Doesn't seem like it also improves the delay to download and install updates, which is still pretty long on Android. I don't know if you could ever really fix that, though. It's probably just a matter of sneakily hiding when updates come in and how long it takes. I'd like to see the Android operating system in particular become less requiring updates as far as rebooting the phone. I'd like to see a way to update the operating system without rebooting the phone, which is what the Linux kernel kinda should be able to do these days. Or for the most part, only when the Linux kernel changes is the point where you need to reboot to a Linux computer. Next we have a game on Steam called Red Room True Time Lies. This looks like an LSD acid trip style game. But I'm willing to go on that journey if this really is a game and this isn't just a insane collection. It really does have like an Alice Madness Returns type feel to it. It's a hidden object game, unfortunately, I've just realized. And that's a shame. That is a shame. Well, I'm not really willing to put new hidden object games on the wish list. Maybe I'll make an exception for this game? No, this one does look so insane. It might deserve... Yeah, this one does look just so insane. I'm going to make an exception and put it on the fall list. And I believe that was that. So yeah, we are done here. And so let's just leave before that person chats to me and go back to the European account because I forgot to do the Tavern Brawl. Gamatsu has an article, The Lost Child, Penny Punching Princess, and The Longest 5 Minutes are getting PlayStation Vita physical editions that launch March 19th, 2019 in North America. That is pretty crazy. Like, just totally insane that any PS Vita games at this point are getting released. And physical PS Vita games in general. So yeah, I need a couple more games if I can, if I could play this guy. And see, I would have very well preferred 5 watch and learn quests instead of challenge a friend quests. That would have been a lot easier to accomplish. Let's see. GameIndustry.biz has the same article. Nintendo apologizes for Native American caricature. The Super Smash Bros. Ultimate callback to the 1982 Game & Watch title will see animation change. As the company says, it, quote, does not represent our company's values today. Alright, so is it worth watching this person play to see how long it takes him to finish and win, or do we stick with where we are? And let's just watch, or mostly watch. We have a game on Steam called Tsuyoku. Best I can guess, that's how that's pronounced. It's a point-and-click adventure game, and I'm a sucker for point-and-click adventure games. I need to quit being such a sucker for point-and-click adventure games. The problem is, a lot of them are very highly rated, so I need to probably just play more of them. Yeah, this looks cool. I'm sold already. It's $11.89 discounted. It's going to the follow list. Let's see. Game Sutra has an article. Square Enix wants the new studio Luminous, Luminous, to focus solely on AAA games, which is kind of interesting because wasn't it Square Enix that just lost like IO and the Hitman company because they interfered? Isn't it Square Enix that interferes and gives notes and micromanages everything? Alright. Come on. So you should come out of this. And wild. Please accept. Please accept. Just need a couple of games. Alright, and we'll just play Death Rattle Rogue. I haven't played that in a while. This new company, this new studio is based in Tokyo. It opened its doors in March, so it's kind of surprising that we're just talking about now.
The forest fights back. Watch your...
So yeah, it makes a lot of sense that Square Enix, being a Japanese company, would want Japanese studios to make AAA titles, and that's the path they want to go. Whereas they probably don't care so much about IO Interactive, which I believe is a Canadian studio. I might be wrong about that, but definitely a Western studio, and the Hitman series and the Deus Ex series. I think Deus Ex is also Square Enix. So yeah, I expect they're coming out with some JRPG. I don't expect they're coming out with something that has mass appeal to the rest of the world. Meanwhile, Square Enix is got some other news things to talk about. GameIndustry.biz has an article. 3 Square Enix mobile games stop operating in Belgium over loot boxes. So Kingdom Hearts Union X, Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia, and Mobius Final Fantasy all end in the country by mid-December. I could see also where Square Enix is in trouble here, because if it is true that Kingdom Hearts 3 is the end of the Kingdom Hearts series, where it definitely should be, but I wouldn't be surprised if there are more planned, more games planned. then Square Enix loses a major tentpole game, even if it is a tentpole series that has not really made that many main story games or been released with any level of consistency. And I'm pretty sure Square Enix also is the developer and publisher of Final Fantasy, so that there's a lot of tentpole games under Square Enix, but none of them seem to consistently come out on an annual basis or every 2 years or every 4 years. They come out every 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, which is way too long to wait if you're trying to run a business.
There once was a man from Gilneas. Job done.
TechRaptor has the same article we've been talking about throughout this live stream. Diablo Immortal controversy causes Activision Blizzard stocks to drop over 7%. 70% would be really, really bad. 7% is pretty bad. Gamma Sutra has a... So clearly Square Enix had a like shareholder meeting or something, because we're seeing a lot of Square Enix news. Let's see. Let's keep on playing this, and then this,
No shiny.
and then this.
Job's done.
And then the third. Yeah, Gamma Sutra has an article. Sales and profits down at Square Enix as console titles falter. Sales and profits are down at the Final Fantasy maker Square Enix, which just released its financials for the 6 months ending September 30th, 2018. So, the company blamed the decline on the drop-off of in-licensing income, along with the poor performance of smart devices and PC browser catalog titles that launched during the previous fiscal years. So that's kind of nebulous, but they're basically saying we didn't get enough microtransactions, or we didn't get enough licensing of our music or our content from video games. Oops, I screwed that up.
Here we go.
I'm almost done with the news and all the games. Let's see, TechRaptor has an article. Upcoming Persona dancing games gets demo pre-order bonus. Yeah, Dancing in Moonlights and Dancing in Starlight demo. Yeah, I don't know if I really want to play a Persona-based dancing game as somebody who hasn't even gotten around to playing the Persona games, and very possibly doesn't want to play the Persona games because they don't want you to stream all of the Persona games. So I don't know if I'd get some kind of takedown, content ID claim, or DMCA claim, copyright strike, which would be way worse.
Truth is my shield.
Let's see, I want to save this to see if I can find something else with a death rattle. And next turn I can play this and then attack. Yeah. Weird. Certainly weird in general that the dancing games are coming out for Persona. This is taking a little too long. guess the question would come down to how low does my health have to go before I could just concede and it would still count. I don't think my health is low enough.
Here we go.
Bring that. Alright. Oh, I could have killed that. Oh, that was dumb. I could have used this on this and had a second one. We have a game on Steam called Kursk, which looks polished. Looks like a horror game on like a submarine. Little dark screenshot syndrome, but not too bad. I'm seeing some actual people in a horror game, which means it has actual dialogue and writing. Yeah, this does not look terrible. It's $25.49, and I'm already following it, so it'll just stay on the follow list. Interesting. Yeah, we're just basically waiting for people to play it and review it for me before I would be certain about it. Alright, let's see, we do this, and then that, and then that.
There once was a man from Gilneas.
And hit that. And hit that.
This guy's toast.
My hand overflows.
Next, we have a game on Steam called Stone Towers. Looks like it's a tower defense base building game. It doesn't look that interesting, frankly. I don't even know why you would go 3D on a tower defense game. And if you are going to go 3D, I think you have to go AAA quality animation 3D. You don't go low polygon like this. Yeah. I don't see anything there that would make me want to play that game. Only a couple more. Let's see. We can attack this. We can do this. And we can do this. This. That.
Time's up.
And that.
Here we go.
Hey, lights out.
There you go. TechRaptor has an article, PlayStation 4 share will be blocked in the second half of Catherine full body story mode. So we're still really having this issue of Japanese developers in particular really trying to stop people from streaming games, or at least parts of games. It's the same issue with the Persona series, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is the same developer as Persona series. The good news is, if Catherine Full Body does come out to PC, it does have like this easy mode in it, and that easy mode opens the door a lot wider for a player like me, because I was a little afraid that I might not be able to actually play the game from beginning to end, that it might get a little too fast paced, a little too complicated. This TechRaptor article has a paragraph here that says, "This isn't the first time that Atlas has issues with people streaming their games. They imposed a rather strict streaming rules for Persona 5 when it came out in the West more than 6 months after the release in Japan, warning of copyright strikes. They did revise them after backlash, relaxing slightly, and these are far more relaxed than Persona 5's, although we again are seeing a likely release date split, with the Western release being set sometime in 2019 compared to Japan's Valentine's Day release." Let's see. If we played this, and we do this,
Here we
do
go.
this, and that.
I'm running out of cards.
So yeah, Atlas is still being Atlas, and this is Atlas Japan more. Now, to be fair, while I do want to play Catherine full body, I am not 100% sure that there aren't at least a few scenes that would have to be censored or cut out, but probably not enough that it would ruin the entirety of the coverage. Moving on, Tech Raptor has another article. Blizzard Entertainment says no Diablo 4 announcements were pulled from BlizzCon, which is contradictory to what was reported by Kotaku, so it's either a matter of Kotaku getting it wrong, making up a story just to get clicks. This would be Kotaku's Jason Schreier, a name I recognize. I don't know anything on top of that, though. I just recognize his name. Apparently Jason Schreier went on Twitter and said, quote here, update, Blizzard disputes that a Diablo 4 announcement was pulled from BlizzCon, which, how that's phrased, there's a lot of wiggle room there. It could be that it was never scheduled for BlizzCon, therefore it was technically never could have been pulled. He continues, I can confirm that the Alan Adham video was made and that D4 is in development. What's in dispute here is the planned timing. I apologize for any misinformation. And then he clicks to a link. So he's basically saying that he might have been wrong, or he's just maybe covering his own butt. It's kind of ridiculous that they would even come out and dispute that. Just let those rumors run. Let those rumors go. Let them be whatever they are. Because it's much better for Activision Blizzard to have rumors about and get talked about that there was a Diablo 4 announcement out there, and that maybe people could find it, maybe people could see it, over people talking about the just horrible mess that happened with Diablo Immortal. Let's see. See, next on Steam we have a game called Volcano Eruption, which seems like it's probably a little too generic of a game. It's a VR game, that's why. It's free to play, so I guess the price is right, but honestly, it's probably 5 minutes of experience. Yeah, it doesn't look very well animated. Like, far too many people decided that VR was going to be their meal ticket. Totally isn't. Draw a card, fill your hand with it. Sure. Alright.
My thanks to you.
Job's done.
Wow. See, this might be the last game. We also have Moon Landing VR on Steam, which it's not really catching my attention. It's free to play too, so yeah, I don't think I'm gonna put that on the call list either. I can't believe he won there. I was so certain I was gonna win. I don't even know how he won there. Whatever, let's keep on playing. Let's go for a faster gameplay. Yeah. Gamatsu has the same article. Red Dead Redemption 2 shipments topped 17 million, surpassed the lifetime shipments of the original.
Rexar versus Anduin. The light shall bring victory.
Let the hunt
See, yeah, I
begin.
just need this game to go faster because now I'm hitting a point where I'm going to be out of games to talk about. TechRaptor has an article: more microtransactions surging into Destiny 2. Which you really don't have to read any further than that. More microtransactions are coming, and if you don't like microtransactions, you don't like the idea of more of them.
Hunt alone.
If you don't mind microtransactions or you like them, then I guess yay. I don't know what's wrong with you that you would like microtransactions, but whatever. TechRaptor has an article: Battlefield 5 won't feature map voting at launch, and it launches with 8 maps. So if there was a specific map you wanted to play, you would just have to get into the map and then quit, like rage quit immediately if it's not the map you want. And Battlefield 5 very possibly has some kind of penalty for rage quitting, so it might not be worth it to rage quit, and it might be easier to just play the maps. And I guess that's the idea here, is that they want you to try out all 8 maps, but if after day 1 you've tried out all 8 maps and you only want to play one of them, you're really taking the power away from the players. Certainly has been issues in the past where people only want to play a few of the available maps and things like Counter-Strike Go, but whatever, just let the players play what they want to play. If you have one very successful map, like Fortnite kind of has like one successful map that they haven't added anything to, and instead are just changing and modifying over time, just stick with it. Whereas like PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds map seems like it's pretty generic and needs a lot more work. Does this have a death rattle? No. So I'd have to do something like this first. I didn't do that. Didn't do that. And see, that then puts me at the Humble Bundle, where we can look at the bundles. There is a Warhammer bundle, and then a Warhammer Games bundle, and then a audio book Warhammer bundle. I really don't think I could ever convince myself to spend even $1 buying a bunch of the Warhammer games. I could understand maybe doing that if I had a lot more time, and then I just like spotlight it. Apparently Blood Bowl is part of the Warhammer series, and of course Vermintide is, but so you can get Blood Bowl 2 if you pay over the average of $6.51 right now.
Ooh, I wonder what this does.
Let's see, what do we want to do? Yeah, just doing the wishlist cleanup and looking at the wishlist, there's just so many other games that I want to get first. And yeah, there's not really any other bundles for video games. There's this interesting, I guess, digital comic book bundle on Humble Bundle, which it's called Back to the 80s and includes Transformers Volume 1, Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan Volume 1, My Little Pony, Jim and the Holograms. I think it's probably all Volume 1s. Alright, keep focusing in here and get victories. G.I. Joe Classics Volume 1, Ghostbusters Volume 1, or Back to the Future, Bloom County, the complete digital library Volume 4, interesting.
The gracious
And then if you pay
is
$8 or more, you get volume 2 on basically everything. Except for Bloom County, which you get volume 5 of. See, but this is not really going to get you anywhere. If you're just getting... If you pay $15 more, you get volume 3 of everything. But that's kind of not it. That's kind of not enough. I mean, that really just starts you off on some addiction of buying comics from that cover 80s type things. And like the Ghostbusters comic, I almost certainly didn't come out in the 80s. Honestly, it's probably a early 90s comic book. A lot of these probably did not actually come out in the 80s. Yep. So then that puts me back on Twitter, just looking for new news, as we're trying to get one more victory. That was not too bad. I canceled the challenge. Alright, let's see if he's willing to challenge me again. I'm gonna scroll down my Twitter feed, and once I'm done, we're just gonna be done. I'm gonna play this off screen. It really probably doesn't matter. And so we're just gonna sit here and see what this guy is doing. Hanging out in the main menu. Another wild duel. I'll request one. One more, please. We'll see if he says yes. If I beg hard enough. Dead Space 2 episode 28 aired on my channel 4 hours ago. And it's kind of nothing else. Not a lot of news came out today as far as video games are interested, unless maybe just my Twitter is messed up, and so I'll see if I can reload it. Yeah, I really only had like 3 different tweets. So if there's any more information, it's hidden. Like 3 hours ago, Hearthstone episode 1070 aired on my channel, and I got the thumbnail back on Twitter, so whatever that glitch was is working its way through. Just looking. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything new. Scrolling down, wasting time. Well, overall, this has been a pretty good stream, and we had some people earlier on. I do want some feedback, and if people are finding that starting and going this late is not the right time, maybe I should start a couple hours earlier, like somewhere around 2 o'clock Central Time instead of 4:30, which was when I started US Central Time. Let's see. Gearbox retweeted another body painter. I guess I should take that as a good thing, that they're still hardcore enough to potentially retweet somebody who's potentially yeah, they're all women who are technically maybe topless on their main things, then just have paint over their clothing or over their body. either that or they've actually hired people that are wearing like a bra and painting them. A lot of Twitch body painters, I think, probably do wear a white bra and paint over it, just to get away from getting in trouble. But meanwhile, while females can paint their entire bodies, being shirtless as a male on Twitch seems to get you in trouble regardless of context. So there's a real double standard being applied from what I've heard. Apparently also it's Madame Curie's birthday today. That's very not video game related. Let's see. I'm at the bottom of my Twitter feed, and there really was nothing else new. Okay. So that's gonna be it for this recording. Apologies, it seems like I'm doing this a lot of times now, where it's just at the end of recording and I'm just having nothing on the screen. That's gonna be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Google+, Steam, or Battle.net, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. I'm probably going to still mention Google+, like for months, if not maybe even a year after Google+ has been completely shut down, by the way. And if you want to support me, which would be greatly appreciated, you can support me through the links below via Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game, whether it's off my wish list or just a game you'd like to see me cover. If you have a code for a game, you can send it through Twitter direct message, or you could also gift a gift card through Steam, which certainly helps and lets me build up some cash to spend on games that I know I really want to play and cover during Steam sales. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.